Hey guys, I was watching the Fort Myers webcam again because it's just so intriguing, and here's a few crazy things I found in my footage. I shot for about 13 minutes, I think, and all these little flybys, and of course our favorite spaceship there right in the middle, the one that I always call a mothership, but I get yelled at for calling it that because apparently motherships are much, much bigger. But my response to that is, how do we know how big this thing is? Reality, right? This is it with the comic filter, and it shows really cool how the lights are around that ship. Look at that. Those are the lights showing up in the filter. There it is again without the filter. You can see the lights if you zoom in. It looks different from night to night. It's not always exactly the same light pattern. So that's one thing that makes me think that it's not like a reflection off of, whatever, the ground below, the lights below, something like that. It also only shows up after the camera seems to switch over into what might be a night vision mode. And to me, that says a lot, because I don't think people are seeing this with their naked eye. Don't you think we'd be having reports and reports of it if they were? You can also see how it seems like it gives off a glow around it that kind of arcs to the ocean. If you just kind of, blur your eyes and look at it, you can see this lighter spot all around this mothership, right? I don't know, it's just super interesting to me. I know everybody says, call the police down there. Well, I'm not going to call the police and tell them to go investigate a mothership that we can't see with our naked eyes, because I'd really rather stay out of the loony bin. But I can go on TikTok and talk about it. And I know that this is not Starlink, folks. Starlink travels very, very fast. In fact, I think it's 1,400 miles an hour. It does not hover over the ocean. Here it is again in the comic filter. And, Starlink it's just not Starlink, okay? This is not Starlink. Okay, that said, I'm not saying I know what it is either. When I call it a mothership, I'm saying that kind of tongue-in-cheek because I want to believe for sure, and I know a lot of you folks do too. And when we see this night after night on this webcam, I mean, it does get suspicious. You kind of wonder, well, what is it? Why does it show up pretty much every night when they go into night mode on this camera? One reason I really like this camera, though, is because it is super high resolution. This is one of the best webcams there is right now. And, you can see the stars right now in the background. So that just kind of shows how great this camera is. And so does it surprise me that we might see something in the night vision mode of a super nice webcam? No, it doesn't surprise me at all, because, the night mode of cameras, it's not IR, it's not infrared mode. This is like night vision mode that, newer video cameras have. And iPhones have night vision features, but here it is in a different a different filter. And look at that. It's amazing looking. Tell me that does not look exactly like 100% like a spaceship. And how big is it? We don't know, because that would depend on how far it is away from the Earth, right? Does that make sense? Yes. So we don't know how big this thing is. We don't know how close to the ocean it is. But what we do know is that a lot of people have talked about the fact that these spaceships are going to slowly make themselves known by making appearances over what? Oceans, where humans can see them, but they pose less of a threat. And they would, slowly make themselves more and more known, and people would have time to come and visit them, to see it for their own eyes, and then, slowly desensitizing people to this. That's what a lot of people think is going to happen with disclosure. So I know a lot of you watching this are skeptical, and I am too. And that's why I keep coming back to this webcam to see if it's gone. When I see that it's not there, I kind of get excited, because then I'm like, oh my God, if it's not there tonight, that shows me that it's not just a camera relic, or just like light phenomenon, or a reflection, or refraction, or a scratch, or Starlink, or a bug, or a plane suspended in motion. No, I don't think it's any of those things, folks, but what it is, I don't claim to actually know. So, again, I'm always open to hear your comments and what you think it is. And, if you've been following this yourself and you've caught anything interesting, let me know. I videoed this thing for 30 minutes last night, and I tried to pull it into iMovie so I could edit it, and it freaking practically broke my camera, my phone. And sometimes I think maybe these interstellar objects are interfering with my technology when I'm trying to record them. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've totally, completely lost my mind at this point. That's what TikTok will do to you. But whatever. If you've listened to me this far, then you and I are friends. And I hope you have a great night. Let me know what you think. Peace, love, and UFOs.